We begin the practice of standing like a tree by warming up the body. So we'll start with some shaking out anything that may be stuck in the body. Beginning to loosen any areas of holding or tension. There's no particular way to shake the body. So as you shake different parts, begin to feel the vibrations moving through your whole being and moving in such a way that the vibrations reach every part of you. Maybe sighing out on breath or sound as you do this. Allowing the jaw and the facial muscles to loosen. And then finding stillness. Noticing the residue of the practice, the sensations you may still feel. And then we're just going to continue to loosen through the body, starting with this rotational movement. Be careful if your chair has a back. Just wrapping the arm gently around the back, sitting near the front of the chair. If you have a stool like me, you can just let the arm come behind you. You might invite the head to move with you as you rotate, unless this makes you dizzy, in which case keep the gaze more forward. And the intention here is to invite the body through this warm-up to relax more and more. In Zhan Zhuang practice, the standing like a tree practices, one of the principles is to allow the body to relax more and more deeply. And there is no end to this exploration. It's a bit like the layers of an onion. So there's always deeper to relax and release. And always more tensions in the body that accumulate simply through our daily living or even during our sleeping night. If you've been letting the head come with you, you might experiment with letting the head be forward now and noticing how that changes where you feel the movement through yourself, through your spine. And then slowing the movement down until you once more find stillness. Beginning to let the body guide you towards this point of stillness. And taking one arm overhead, we're just going to lean to one side like a bamboo tree swaying, and then come to the center, exchange the arms, lean to the other side. And continue side bending from side to side. We are not looking for a maximum range of movement here. We are looking for fluidity and the feelings of what it's like to lean away from the center. So one of the other principles of Zhan Zhuang practice, Wuji Zhan Zhuang in particular, is to inhabit the center, to be at the center. In order for us to find the center, the way that we are finding our way there is to lean away from it, one side and the other, alternating, so that we can feel in our body and recognize when we are at the center and what it feels like to move away from it, to start to move away from it. And that way we can sooner recognize the tensions as they're starting to build, and as we're moving away from our center, away from our point of balance. And this helps us reorient ourselves more easily towards the balance. So feeling the pressures, the tensions building in your body as you lean away from the center to one side and the next, becoming familiar with those sensations. I will take one more to each side and then release this from the body. Move the spine in one more pulsing direction. So we're going to move into flexion, moving in towards a forward fold. You let the head go as well. And then maybe let the palms slide up the legs. I'm going to move towards extension, taking the palms to the lower back, pressing your sitting bones gently into the seat of the chair, and looking up and leaning back. Again, just a little bit. And then coming back into flexion. How far you go is entirely up to you. You might slide your hands all the way down to your feet, or you might stay more upright. And then sliding the palms back up again, finding extension through the spine, and finding flexion. Like I said, you can just stay up here. Modulating the practice to what you need today. The movement can be quite small, quite a micro movement. And as you slow down in the small movements, you really begin to attune to what it feels like when you're just beginning to move out of your center. But if it feels good, you can come all the way down. Feel the opening in your lower back, in the back body, and then feeling the opening in the front body in extension. So experimenting, getting to know the pressures, the tensions, the sensations of moving away from the center and then also coming back towards the center. What does that feel like? And when you feel complete with this exploration, coming back to the center, finding your seat, finding your center. We'll do one more movement in this style. Opening the palms to face forward and then turning the palms to face back. And you might start by just moving the palms, feeling the movement at your palms and your wrist. And then, what would it be like to invite your whole self into this experience? So as your palms are rotating forward, you can feel the rotation all the way up the arms to the shoulders. Maybe your breastbone comes forward. You might find yourself looking up. What's happening to the spine? And then as the palms turn back, again tracing the movement all the way up your arms to the shoulders, to the shoulder blades, the spine. The external and internal rotation of the arms initiating the flexion and extension of the spine now. And play with bigger movements, smaller movements, feeling where the pressures and tensions are beginning to appear as you lean away from a neutral center space. The breath continues to be relaxed and natural as best as is available to you today. And then letting this fall away from your body, arms finding a neutral position by the sides of your body, or if you prefer, the arms can rest on your thighs. I suggest, if they do that, resting them on the little finger side of your hands. We're going to start to align the body vertically now between earth and sky. Your feet are wide and spreading on the earth. You might rock forward and back from your pelvis. You will feel this as a shift of weight over your sitting bones. But you might also begin to feel how there's a little bit of a change of weight distribution over your feet and tensions developing and releasing in your legs. You can experiment with shifting your weight in your pelvis side to side, from the left sitting bone to the right sitting bone. And again, feeling how this is mirrored, even though it's more subtle, in how your feet engage with the floor. You might find some diagonal movement. Maybe some circles. Again, exploring the sensations of what it's like to lean away from center where your weight is evenly distributed, front, back, left, right, side to side. And then when you feel you've explored this enough, let the movement get smaller and smaller. and follow your body back to center, where the weight is evenly distributed between the two sitting bones, between the 2 feet, between the front and back of the sitting bones and the feet. Find a neutral position for the pelvis. You might explore rolling the pelvis a little bit forward and back. If you imagine the pelvis as a bowl filled with water, when you roll the pelvis over the hip bones, over the sitting bones forward, the water would spill forward. When you when you roll the pelvis back, the water would spill back. So we're trying to find a neutral place, I'll show this from the side, where the water is not spilling forward and it's not spilling back, but it remains within the pelvic bowl. Once you have found that to the best of your ability today, allow the weight of the water-filled pelvis to help you sink your energy down to your roots. You might visualize growing roots into the earth from your feet, but also from your sitting bones. It might be stronger feeling in the sitting bones from a seated position. And then finding the center of the pelvic bowl, center of the pelvis here. Don't think about it, just let your body take you there, even if it sounds strange to you. And then from this downward sinking, rooting feeling, begin to rise in your awareness towards your heart, centering the center of your heart over the center of your pelvis. And then continuing to rise to the center of your brain. Let the neck be long, but not tense. And the chin either parallel to the floor or gently tucked. Centering the center of the brain over the center of the heart, over the center of the pelvis, over your roots. And then continuing to rise some more to the crown of the head, opening the crown of the head to the sky so that you are vertically aligned between sky and earth. And the energy can flow and exchange freely between the two, between the great sources of yin and yang. And your central axis is the riverbed for this flow of energy. Let the breastbone be relaxed, so the chest is not pushing forward, but it's not collapsed back either. Your tailbone is relaxed and released. The lower back spreading wide. The abdomen relaxed, so the breath can come fully into your belly. Feel the inhalation and exhalation moving your abdominal wall. You can take your hands there for a moment, inviting the breath into the abdomen. If you don't feel it, just visualize it. Don't force it. Just imagine and visualize that as you inhale, the abdomen fills with breath. And as you exhale, the abdomen relaxes back in. And then invite this breath pattern to come into your whole body. So as you're inhaling, the breath expands from the center of your pelvis, reaching the shores of your body, your skin, your fingers, your toes, your crown. As you exhale, the breath and the energy return to the center of the pelvis. If you like, you can release your hands and invite them to move gently with the inhalation, with the expansion, and with the exhalation, the relaxation back in. Again, don't force anything. Either sense it or visualize and imagine it. And allowing the arms to find stillness, remaining either by your side or returning back to your lap. Let the body rest in this still point at the center now. Let the eyes be open, looking straight ahead with a soft gaze, not focusing on anything in particular. Equal awareness of the external space and the internal space. And while the body is externally still, it is relaxing and not stiff, so that the living chi can continue to move within you. You might sense this as the processes of breathing, of blood flowing, the electrical impulses moving, maybe some heat sensations. And the posture of Zhan Zhuang is very much alive on the inside. Let the tip of the tongue rest at the upper palate, just behind your upper teeth, in a relaxed way. Breathing is through the nose, if that's available for you. And invite there to be an inner smile to your experience. Notice how when you allow this inner smile to spread through your whole body, the body has a tendency to relax deeper. feeling and sensing and being, allowing patterns of tension and holding and thinking to come to your awareness and then to dissolve as you do nothing. And we begin to close the practice down by bringing the palms of our hands to the lower belly, to the dantian. Feeling with our palms the sensations of breath again. Beginning to let the eyes focus on one object at a time. Maybe looking around your space, left and right, and down and up, grounding yourself within the space around you. And then placing your palms on your thighs, just going to circle over the sitting bones. 3 circles in each direction, releasing any tensions that may have built up from our sitting posture in our lower back, or any stiffness in the sitting bones. Even though we're working on relaxing the body, there is always a balance between relaxing and tensions coming in through our living, even in our practice. With extended period in a single posture, tensions will begin to build up. So coming back to movement after the stillness to balance it. Letting those tiny, tiny beginnings of tensions release before they become more ingrained. And coming to the center, taking the palms back to the lower belly, letting the energy settle and store in the dantian.